Okay, my apologies. Wendy Clark is joining us here in just a moment. She's uh, in the
Oh,
in the Teams link. So, um, would you like me to carry on with roll call, Lisa?
sure.
Okay, very good. Uh, Heidi DeWingert, Tim Hodges,
Here.
Yep.
Commissioner Mosquero Bruno, Matt Puglisi,
Present?
Chelsea Ross, Lisa Tepper Bates,
Present.
Greg Ugalde,
Present.
Sean Williams,
Here.
Wendy Clark.
I am here.
Great, thank you so much. We do have a quorum in attendance for this meeting.
That's terrific. So with that said, shall we go on to our action items? And we will start with 55 Nye Road, and that is Stephen presenting.
Good morning, everybody. Today, I'll be talking about 55 Nye Road. So going to the financing request, the first financing request is a permanent only loan of up to $6,600,000 from taxable bonds, which will be at interest rate not to exceed 7.11%. The loan term is 35 years, and it will be amortized over 40 years. The second financing request is a cash flow loan of up to $1 million from the Opportunity Fund at an interest rate of 1%. The loan term will be 37 years, and the loan will, one, accrue interest at outstanding principal at a rate not to exceed 1% per annum, payable interest only during the 24-month construction period, and two, accrue at interest rate of 1% during the 35-year permanent term. It'll be payable with 25% of adjusted cash flow after the deferred developer fee is paid off. Going to the development, 55 Nye Road did receive an award of 9% low-income housing tax credits in 2025. The proposed development will be new construction of a mixed income rental community consisting of 64 units in Glastonbury. Glastonbury is a town with less than 10% of affordable housing. The current site is located close to Glastonbury Center, and contains a vacant office building which will be demolished. Some nearby amenities onto the site include a grocery store, schools, pharmacies, restaurants, and a library. It's in a pretty busy area of Glastonbury. The property has a pilot agreement for property taxes, and then also the development will be designed to meet National Green Building Standards. It will also include a solar array and broadband internet access. Some amenities within the building include buildings, I should say, include a community building with a management office and space for a full-time resident service coordinator. I'm going briefly into the rent structure. The development will consist of one, two, and three-bedroom units. There are 51 LIHTC qualified units, which consist of AMI bands of up to 30%, 50%, and 60%. The remaining 13 units are market rate units. Additionally, there are supportive housing units. There's a total of 13 supportive housing units, which will be designated as supportive housing for intellectually disabled clients of the Department of Development Services. These units will also benefit from rental subsidies through the State Rental Assistance Program. In regards to the development team, the developer is the Housing Authority of the town of Glastonbury. They currently have 5 active developments with CHFA. All of these properties are well maintained and are also in program compliance. I'm just going to some other considerations I haven't previously mentioned. I should just say one other consideration. The property will remain affordable for 50 years. And two conditions to note are we are waiting on executed DOH term sheets, a term sheet, and then also the executed construction loan commitment from M&T Bank. I'm happy to take any questions.
Stephen, that's terrific that it's deed restricted for 50 years. That's really noteworthy. I
Yep.
just had a quick question. The resident services coordinator, is that a hybrid of sort of a property manager, social worker, or more a social worker, or more a property manager?
It's my understanding it's more of a social
Yes,
worker.
yeah, they help the residents with all kinds of tasks, life tasks. We just there was just a report published that properties that have resident service coordinators are far more successful in keeping residents and in bringing residents in, and they actually generate more income. So I'll see if I'll get a copy of the article and send it around. It's pretty interesting stuff. So, and we have somebody on staff in our asset management department that is essentially a resident service coordinator. So she coordinates all the resident service coordinators with us, and she deals with NERSC, the resident service coordinator group in Connecticut.
That's great. And so, Pat, that is part of the business plan for the income from this development. Is that right?
Yes.
That's great. Are there other questions or comments?
Sure.
Yeah.
Just a quick question. Was there a problem with signing of the term sheet, or it's just taking its course and the town will sign it soon?
It's just taking its course currently for both of them. M&T Bank, I understand that their main contact has been away, so that's been kind of a reason for a delay for the construction loan side of it.
Yeah, this isn't unusual, Griff. The DOH term sheet is always generally comes after our board approval.
And I always ask.
That's okay.
Hey, just before we go to the vote, Rob, can you give me some guidance here? There are at least a couple in here that are related to M&T Bank. I'm assuming because I don't benefit directly that it's okay for me to vote, or if you tell me differently, then I'll follow suit.
Well, I think M&T's would be an adverse party here. So in the transaction as a senior lender. Is that right, Steve?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Tim, on that basis, it might make sense to abstain.
Okay, but please, I saw two in there that were M&T. Let me know if there are any more. Call me out, please.
And Tim, we'll make sure we do that in the future going forward too.
Yeah.
On other deals.
Thank you.
And Matt, you had a question, comment?
Yeah, thanks, Lisa. I just wanted clarification on the supportive housing units. Are those the 120% AMI plus units, or are those mixed in with the lower income units?
They're actually the 30% AMI units. There's 13 of those too.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if the numbers were just.
I know it's confusing because there's 13 market rate as well. So, yep.
All right, great. Thanks.
Terrific. Any other questions or comments? Can we have a motion?
I'll make a motion, Matt.
Second, Greg?
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed?
I'll abstain.
Abstentions?
Tim.
Great. Don, did you get that?
I did. Rob, can you help me out here? Do we have to do the roll call because of the abstention?
So we've been doing that to comply with the virtual FOI statute, just in the event of a.
So we need to do a roll call every vote,
In
Rob?
an abundance
Yes?
of caution, no, not every vote, just if there's a no or an abstention.
So go ahead, Don.
Great, thank you. Wendy Clark?
Yes.
Thank you. Heidi Wingert? Timothy Hodges?
Abstain.
Commissioner Mascara-Bruno? Matt Puglisi?
Yes.
Chelsea Ross? Lisa Tepper Bates?
Aye.
Greg Ugalde?
Aye.
Sean Williams?
Yes.
The vote passes with one abstention.
Terrific. Thank you, Don. Okay, Avon Village Road. Kyle.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. So Avon Village is a 4% transaction. This will be an adaptive reuse of a former office building that will be turned into 76 new units in downtown Avon. All the units will be affordable and comprise of 1, 2, 3, and 4 bedrooms at 50 and 60% of the AMI. This will be the same structure as other deals that CHFA has done, like 10 Liberty, Ellis, and Windward, when M&T Bank is the construction lender, and CHFA will come in at 99% complete, with only punch list items remaining to pay off M&T Bank. We are recommending the approval of tax exempt bond proceeds of up to 12 million, structured as a one note construction and perm loan at a rate not to exceed 6.35% for 40 years. There's not many other sources in the deal. We have the CHFA Affordable Housing Fund totaling $1 million, the DOH Flex Funds totaling 12.5 million, a grant from the Urban Act program of 3 million, and then deferred fee of approximately 1.5 million. All members of the development team have worked with CHFA in the past. Beacon is the developer and property manager. Haynes will be the GC, and the architectural team will be the architect. And then a quick comment on the conditions. We have received the updated equity commitment and construction loan term sheet from M&T Bank, but we're still awaiting the DOH executed DOH term sheet from Beacon, which is currently being worked on and should be executed by Thursday for the board meeting. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Just a quick question, and you may or may not, Kyle, have this data at your fingertips, but with these additional units, how much closer to the 10% affordable does this get the community of Avon?
We'll have to take a look at that,
Yeah,
Lisa,
I'm not sure
and
about
get
that.
back to you.
Yeah.
I can try and get that for the board meeting on Thursday.
Yeah, just and Pat, it's not critical to the approval of the project, but I think it's interesting in these smaller communities, putting in this many units could actually have a substantial impact. So it'd be interesting to see that when it's possible. Thank you.
Absolutely. And for those of you who don't remember, there's a hybrid that was approved and closed in December of this year, essentially on the same site. It's in the parking lot of this building, and that was 100 units combined. So, and then there's a plan for another phase after this one. So this is the existing office building. It's a really cool building. It's sort of an Art Deco kind of thing, and it's got it's 4 stories, and it's actually, at one point they thought they were going to have to tear it down because they couldn't make it work, but then they finally got it to work. It's going to be great. I'm very enthusiastic about this. This is one of our first true office conversions that we've seen, so we'd like this to be a big success for us.
Pat, I think a lot of us probably noted that. And just for my own part, if it were ever possible before they open it, to maybe have a tour for some of the board members to see how that office conversion can be done, I would be fascinated, and I'm guessing others might be too, because that's a hard nut to crack. I think we all know that.
Absolutely. And the nice thing about this, Lisa, is you'd be able to see the other property. They should be completed coincidentally. That's part of the way they were able to find some savings on this, was to get the construction cycles, coincidental. So, yeah, I'll start planning that. It's going to be a couple of years out, but we'll start planning that.
I have a question, Kyle and Pat. At one point, I know the developer had been knocking on, doors trying to fill gaps on this project. And so I have a little bit of awareness, and I'm just not sure where things ended. They were exploring CMDA funding. Is that something that is no longer contemplated?
Yeah, it wasn't, we actually were ready to bring this in January, but
Okay.
Unfortunately the CMDA money couldn't come into the deal for various reasons.
Okay.
So we had the developer go back, and DOH kicked in a few more dollars. They were able to save, I believe it was a little over $1 million by doing the coincidental construction. They're using the same GC for this project as they are for the hybrid. And so by starting it at the same time, they were able to save over $1 million. So it's taken a lot on the part of DOH, on the part of Beacon, and on the part of Kyle, Michelle, and Joe, to get this piece together. But that's we've got to balance sources and uses right now, and we'll be moving this one forward. So.
Got it. No, thank you. I'm always trying to just keep track of, the various asks that are coming in on projects to the different state agencies and grant programs. And so I just wanted to make sure that was put to bed. Great.
Yep.
That's great. Well, thank you, Pat, and your whole team, Kyle, Michelle, Joe, for the hard work on this.
Motion
Other
to
comments?
approve.
Excellent. The second?
Second.
Thank you, Wendy.
least I think M&T's a construction lender on this deal as well, right?
They are.
So Don, will you do the roll call?
Of course. Wendy Clark,
Yes.
Heidi DeWinger, Timothy Hodges,
Abstain.
Commissioner Mascara Bruno, Matt Puglisi,
Yes.
Chelsea Ross, Lisa Tepper Bates,
Aye.
Greg Ugalde,
Aye.
Sean Williams.
Yes.
The vote passes with one abstention.
Thank you, Don. Next up is Hart Street Gardens, New Britain, and Elizabeth is presenting.
Hi, everyone. Hart Street Gardens in New Britain is unlike Metro Realty's usual property, and this is a different request from the last 8 modifications where we extended the loans for 10 years and interest only. This property is only 20 units. They're all affordable, and Metro acquired this one. This one they did not construct, so that's where it's really different. They acquired this in the 90s, and it has been underperforming since. In 2025, or 2024, they expensed over 1.1 million in accrued and unpaid management and maintenance fees. So the existing debt matures this coming December, and they've requested a 30-year extension at 0%, and they're going to pay from cash flow, which really seems reasonable with the NOI for 2025 at only 58,000. They're going to cover the repairs, continue to cover the repairs themselves. And not included in this request, but just additional information, they did ask DOH for a 30-year extension on their debt of $395,000, and DOH did give us a verbal approval on that. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
So Elizabeth, in sum, what do we accomplish through this? Can you just sort of help provide a high-level summary?
Well, yes, Jeff Sager is trying to get all his properties, get them lined up and performing. This one, again, does not perform, but they have been carrying the expenses themselves. He just wants to have the debt accrue or conforming and not be delinquent. So if we will extend it for 30 years, they will continue to maintain the affordability for 30 years. And this way, it's all buttoned up and legal, and the loan is in compliance.
Just a little bit of color. So there's another piece of CHFA debt that's paying off. I believe it's next month. And so that the amortization from that will then kick into cash flow and it'll go pay this. This was a deferred loan. This started out as a $500,000 loan in 1990 something. And it has been accruing interest for 30 years. And that's how we arrive at a $2.9 million balance. So what they've asked is that we take that $2.9 million balance, extend it over 30 years, and we pay it from cash flow. So we get 30 more years of extended affordability. They get the opportunity to essentially pay down that debt that started out at $500,000. And it'll also provide them an opportunity at some point in the future, I would imagine, to do a resyndication or a syndication of the project and recapitalize it. So all in all, a very good transaction and with a very good developer owner.
Yeah, and Pat, I think for us, the idea that you're going to extend these properties rather than lose off of the affordability rules is really important. So thank you.
Yeah, and I know you're concerned about expiring uses. These were two of the only properties that we didn't formally have a plan for in terms of maturities coming due for this year. So this is a great preservation deal for us.
That's terrific, and thanks for keeping an eye on that. That's so important, the preservation as well as creating the new units.
Yeah.
Greg?
It's interesting on this because when you do the numbers, I mean, they really had to work it through when they felt that far behind on interest. But like you said, to preserve the 20 units, and they're going to be able to, with this current plan, make it through and pay it off. It takes a while longer, but they said, and Pat, correct me if I'm wrong, that they will maintain the property through there, right? Okay.
Yeah, they'll do that themselves. They'll use the other cash flow and their own resources to address the repair needs.
Good.
Great. Other comments or questions? Can we have a motion?
Make a motion to pass, Matt.
Thank you, Matt. A second?
Second, Tim.
Thank you, Tim. This does not involve M&T. Can we just ask for votes in favor then, Rob?
Yes.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
If I say no, we have to do a roll call. Is that right?
Yes.
That is correct, and we're happy to do it, Tim. If
You
No,
could
if you need to
abstain
abstain.
too.
I'm good. Thank you.
All right. So no votes in opposition. Any abstentions? Great. Motion passes. Terrific. Thank you. So next up, Heritage Glen, Farmington, also Elizabeth.
And also Metro Realty. So this one has a loan maturing May 1st. So they have asked us to modify this one. This is a typical Metro property. It's beautiful. It's 68 units, 60 of which are affordable, 8 are market units. And just like Hart Street, one loan is maturing and will be fully amortized. This loan was a deferred payment, and they're asking for a 25-year amortization over on 1%. So it'll be fully paid off in 25 years. This one also, they'll extend the affordability restrictions on this. Also, DOH has a loan that they have agreed to extend as well. So this one's pretty cut and dried. I don't know if I'm missing anything. Any questions?
That's great. So all 68 units will be rolled over for
60.
another, sorry, 60. Okay. For another, how long? 25, 30 years?
25 years, yes.
Okay. That's great. Questions or comments? Go ahead, Pat.
I don't have any.
Oh.
I'll just point out one thing. So you'll see that this is an acquired state loan. So this is actually not, this was not originated by CHFA. It was part of that acquisition that was done back in the early 2000s. So it's not actually our loan.
So Pat, can you just give a little background when you say that acquisition that occurred?
Sorry. Back in the early 2000s, the state asked CHFA to purchase a portfolio of state originated assets, and I believe this one came from DECD. It was around $87 million. We purchased a bunch of mortgages and purchased the entire SSHP portfolio, the state-sponsored housing portfolio, and that was all in that transaction. So we have a bunch of these assets that are out there and are starting to mature because most of them were generated in the late 90s and early 2000s. So you'll probably be seeing these frequently as we move forward, as they have to be addressed. Most of them were deferred payments for 30 years, and so the 30 years is up, and we're starting to see the need to address them.
Thanks for the background, Pat. Sean, do you have a comment?
Nope.
Oh, great.
One thing I misspoke. DOH is not extending their loan. The DOH loan commences amortization May 1st. So on top of our loan amortizing, they will now be amortizing DOH loan. So sorry about that. Just wanted to clarify.
Thanks for that, Liz. Other comments or questions? Great. Can we have a motion?
Moved.
Second.
Tim.
Thank you, Tim. And seconded by Sean. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Terrific. Thank you, Elizabeth. Moving on now to item E, Oak Park Phase 2, and Trevon is presenting.
Good morning. For Oak Park Phase 2, the board action will be to approve a permanent only loan from taxable bonds in the amount approximately 6.2 million with the rate not to exceed 7%, loan term of 35 years and amortizing over 40 years, and opportunity fund cash flow loan approximately $1 million with a rate not to exceed 1% with interest only period for 24 months and a loan term of 37 years. So just jumping into the summary a little bit, Oak Park 2 was a 2025 9% LIHTC awardee. It's the second phase of a proposed three-phase redevelopment in Stamford. Phase 1 was a 2023 9% LIHTC awardee and initial closed in 2024, and certificates of occupancy were recently provided. The developer is Charter Oak Communities, and this project will be consist of 7 buildings with 43 townhouse units. It'll be mixed income. All the buildings have high efficiency building envelopes, and all lighting will be LED, and appliances will be Energy Star qualified. The site is approximately 1.3 miles east of Stamford Town Center and downtown Stamford, providing access to private and public amenities. Just jumping into the rent mix, there will be 35 2 bedrooms and 8 3 bedrooms, serving households at 30, 50, and 60% AMI. A total of 16 units will receive HUD project-based vouchers through Charter Oak Communities. And then other considerations, it's consistent with the City of Stamford's master plan. There is a tax abatement agreement with the City of Stamford, and the project will benefit from part-time resident service coordinator. And a few conditions. We are awaiting a review of procurement and the GC contract from DOH, and also the DOH term sheet, and receipt of the construction lender's hard commitment, and that's M&T.
That's great. Thank you, Trevon. Pat, it seems like we are seeing more of these projects self-financing a services coordinator when not so long ago, it's my recollection that they were usually looking for an outside partner to fund that. So to your point, it's very interesting that that is getting increasingly baked into the business model.
Yeah. And we have points, if you remember, we installed points last year for both a full-time and a part-time resident service coordinator. We think it's a great idea to have one on site. So
that's great. And these are, they do great work, Charter Oak. I've had the chance to tour some of the other development like this they've done, and it's really good, and they keep track of it, and it's well maintained over time, and at least what I've seen. So that's great.
Yeah, they generally have not utilized our financing, and so this is a big step for us in reestablishing a relationship with Charter Oak Communities with Jonathan. So we're very happy that we're able to provide this debt to them and strengthen our partnership with them.
That's terrific. Other comments or questions? May we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Greg. A second?
Second, Matt.
Thank you, Matt. And I think we'll have to do a roll call. Tim, will you abstain?
I will abstain, and I'll just say I'm abstaining, but I am fully supportive of this project.
That's great.
Thanks.
Thank you, Tim. Go ahead, Don.
Sure. Wendy Clark,
Yes.
Heidi DeWingert, Timothy Hodges,
Abstain.
Commissioner Mascaro-Bruno, Matt Puglisi,
Yes.
Chelsea Ross, Lisa Tepper Bates,
Aye.
Greg Ugalde,
Aye.
Sean Williams.
Yes.
The vote passes with one abstention.
Thank you, Don. Next up, item F. Let's see. This is a long one. Issuance of bonds for multiple projects. Michelle.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. You may recall this transaction. So back in January, I presented a recommendation to this committee, and the board approved us to provide a taxable bridge loan of up to $150 million to related affordable housing to acquire a portfolio of 13 properties currently owned by subsidized housing partners, and those projects are in our portfolio. We've been working diligently to get that transaction closed, and we actually have a closing date set of April 20th. Fingers crossed. At that time, we also talked about, and the board had approved an inducement resolution. Although it was for a different property, the need for a bond inducement resolution is somewhat similar here as it relates to the timing of the acquisition. So as I explained back in January, this recapitalization of the 13 properties, it's going to occur over a course of probably about 3 years. Because of that length of time from acquisition to recapitalization and renovation, we're able to establish a start date by which those qualified costs are eligible to be paid from the sale of tax-exempt bonds. So this is going to allow the developer to maintain its eligibility to incur those acquisition costs. It does not obligate CHFA to issue the bonds. It's just simply establishing that start date so that Related doesn't lose those valuable tax credits. Until we determine the financing structure for each of the recap deals, this resolution would allow us to issue bonds in an amount of up to $117,800,000, either under our general resolution or the Housing Revenue Bond Trust indenture. Happy to answer any questions.
Can you just clarify when we become fully obligated?
Not until we issue the actual financing resolution for each transaction, right?
Yeah. Once we bring it to you and the full board for approval for the issuance of the tax exempt bonds and the syndication deals, that's when we'll be obligated. So there'll be, I believe there are 6 scheduled for this year that we'll be bringing individually to the board for essentially a refinance. And then we'll do a couple more the following year and then a couple more the year after that. And at that time we'll become obligated. Does that answer your question, Wendy?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Pat. Any other questions or comments? Barring none, can we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you,
Second.
Sean. Thank you,
Second, Tim.
Tim. Great. And I think we can do a regular vote on this one. So all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the great work on that, Michelle. There's a lot of moving parts.
Thank you.
Terrific. Item G, Windsor Locks TOD Phase 1A. Colette.
Yeah, hi. Good morning, everyone. And if it's okay, I was going to cover both 1A and 1B at the same time because it's a hybrid transaction.
That's terrific. So that's both items G and H on the agenda. Thank you.
Right, but we'll
Correct.
need separate approvals, right, Rob?
Yeah, I recommend 2 votes, but MNT is not involved here, right?
Two
Very
votes,
good.
one presentation.
Thank you. Got it. Thanks for that explanation.
Sure. So this is a board action for Windsor Locks TOD Phase 1. This is a 4%, 9% hybrid transaction. The 9% portion was awarded 2025 LIHTC. With regards to the financing request for the 9%, it includes a taxable bond firm only loan in amount of approximately 2.1 million with a rate not to exceed 7.67%, 35-year term and amortization. They are also seeking opportunity funds of approximately 1 million. This is a cash flow loan, 38-year term, 33-month interest only period with 1% interest rate. With regards to the financing request for the 4%, this includes a tax-exempt bond blend construction to perm, approximately 2.2 million for the perm, rate not to exceed 6.15% with a 35-year term, tax-exempt construction loan of approximately 11,350,000, rate not to exceed 5.7% with, again, a 33-month term. They are also seeking opportunity funds of approximately 1 million. This is a cash flow loan with a 38-year term. With regards to the development summary, there's a total of 70 mixed income rental units. The 9% component, there's a total of 35 units, 28 which are affordable, and they'll serve 30% AMI, 50% AMI, and 80% AMI households, and this is employing the income averaging method. There are 7 market rate units in the 9%, and there's 14 one-bedroom units, 15 two-bedroom units, and 6 three-bedroom units. There are 7 units of supportive housing. With regards to the 4% component, there's a total of 35 units. All are affordable, and they'll be serving AMIs at 30%, 50%, and 60%. There's 14 one-bedroom units, 19 two-bedroom units, and 2 three-bedroom units. And there's a total of 4 units of supportive housing. The supportive housing units on both the 4% and 9% will receive Section 811 rental subsidies. They will serve adults with disabilities and mental illness, including formerly homeless individuals. This is a part of a multi-phase development, which will create a total of 120 units of rental housing. It's an approximate 3.2 acre site surrounded by an established neighborhood. It is also adjacent to the new $65 million Windsor Locks train station that is nearly complete and slated to begin service in May of this year. It is also adjacent to the 4.5-mile long Canal Trail State Park. And separately, the town is investing $2.3 million in DECD funds towards the upgrade of a 2,300 square foot historic train station that's next to the development. It'll be a welcome center and have food and beverage items. The site is served by CT Transit bus route, and when the train station is complete, service will include Amtrak's Hartford Line, commuter train service to Hartford, New Haven, and Springfield. The developer is Trinity Financial. They have developed several properties with CHFA, including 85 Tremont and Meriden, which is currently leasing up, and a 3-phase redevelopment of Soundview Landing in Norwalk. And all of these projects use the hybrid financing structure. The property manager is Trinity Management LLC, and they are currently in LIHTC compliance, and they manage 2 properties in CHFA's portfolio. The general contractor, Enterprise Builders, they've worked on several projects with CHFA that are in our portfolio, including 85 Tremont. The project is pursuing Enterprise Green Communities, and this is an all-electric building with solar PV panels. They are expecting to close in the spring and start construction shortly thereafter, and permanent loan conversion is anticipated for the winter of 2029. Other consideration, DOH will be providing bond financing on the 9% side up to approximately 5.5 million. On the 4% side, approximately 6.8 million. There is a 50-year affordability. There's a full-time resident service coordinator on site, and the property will benefit from a tax abatement from the town. With regards to conditions for the board action, we will need an executed DOH term sheet, completion and approval of the final SEPA scoping, and we are also completing our third-party LEP review. And I'm happy to take any questions.
You just said that the conversion to perm will be in the winter of 2029?
Correct.
Okay.
Any other comments or questions?
Just wanted some clarification. Very familiar with this one on the DECD side. There's the one grant that came in that was recognized around the train station. There's also brownfields money that is going into this project, but there was also acquisition funding that doesn't seem to be reflected.
Yeah.
Unless I'm missing that.
It is reflected. It's one of the Trinity loans, so they're loaning it. They've already purchased the property.
Okay.
So when the LLC purchases it at closing, they're basically lending it back into the project. So it does look different, but yeah, it's remaining in the project. And then the other thing I would note is that the acquisition that they received from DSCD includes the full parcel, the future phase. So that's broken out.
There is a source for CIF here of $775,000 on the 4% side.
Yeah, I saw that, and then there was two
Okay.
and a half there. I think there was also 2.5 million towards the acquisition and an additional award.
Yeah, so that is it. I understand why you would be asking those
Yep.
questions. So the full 2.5 SIF is for the full parcel. And then the portion that applies to the 4 and the 9 is approximately 1.5 million and is showing up in the deals as the Trinity acquisition loans.
Awesome. Great. Thank you.
Sure.
Terrific. Then, do you want to go ahead and present the other piece or do a vote first on this one?
So I can run through the terms of each if it's helpful again. I did try to highlight the financing request on each, but I'm happy to do it quickly
Oh,
again
okay.
before
Sorry.
vote.
Would that be helpful to others to keep them separate for a vote? Or are we good? Maybe we're good.
Let's go ahead, Colette. Let's run through them, but do the
Okay.
4% first because that's the first agenda item. Just go
Okay.
over the financing itself. And
Sure. So the request is for on the 4%, the tax exempt bond blend, which is the construction to perm. That's the approximate 2.2 million with a rate not to exceed 6.15%. 35-year term, and then the tax exempt construction loan, which is approximately 11,350,000 with a rate not to exceed 5.7% with a 33-month term. And then additionally, they're asking for or requesting opportunity funds, approximately 1 million with a cash flow loan, 38 years, 33-month interest only period.
Gotcha. So Rob, can you help with what the motions need to look like so that we get this right?
Sorry. Yeah, I would just proceed as just like you've done all the other ones.
Okay. So we need a motion then on the first portion of tax exempt bond blend, correct?
Correct. Yep. The 4%.
Yes.
Yep. So can we have a motion to approve the 4%?
Motion to approve the 4% financing.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you, Greg, and thank you, Sean. I don't recall if there's an M&T angle. There is not.
There is not.
Okay. Terrific. So all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Terrific. Vote carries. Then we need a second vote, please, on the 9% transaction.
Lisa, did you want Colette to do a recap on the finance for that one as well?
Sure, I think
Sure.
that'd be great. Thank you,
Yeah,
Pat.
it's not a problem and it's understandable. The financing request on the 9% includes a taxable bond perm only loan in approximately 2.1 million. This is a rate not to exceed 7.67%, 35-year amortization and loan term. Additionally, an opportunity fund loan of approximately 1 million, cash flow loan, 38-year term, 33-month interest only period, and a rate of 1% interest.
Terrific. So we need a motion then for the 9% and the opportunity funds, correct?
Yes.
As one, and that's one vote, Rob.
For the 9%. Yes.
Okay, good. Can we have a motion?
Moved, Tim.
Thank you, Tim. A second?
Second.
Thank you, Greg. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great, motion carries. Super, thank you, Colette. There's a lot to that deal as well. So thank you for your hard work on it.
Absolutely, thank you. Appreciate it.
Great, that brings us then to our last item, the minutes. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes? Are there any comments, corrections? Hearing none, can we have a motion to approve?
Moved.
Thank you, Tim.
Second.
Thank you, Sean. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Terrific. Great. I think that brings us to the end of our agenda. Pat, I think that's that.
I think that's that. I'd like to say two things. First of all, thank you very much, Lisa. You did a wonderful job today, moving us along. We had a lot on the agenda, and I really appreciate again the board members' interaction. I find these meetings have been wonderful lately. Lots of interest, lots of participation. So, thank you for your work.
Thank you, Pat, and thanks to everybody. And Pat, I will look forward to reading that article that you mentioned about the.
I have a little note.
Thank you very much. I'm sure others will as well. Terrific. May I have a motion then to close the meeting?
I'll make the motion, Matt.
Second, Tim.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Tim. All in favor?
Aye.
Terrific. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to the whole staff of CHFA for your hard work. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, that too. Happy St. Patrick's Day. That's right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.